You could be super smart, super hardworking, but literally just having connections is more important than working harder or getting luckier.
Me and Dennis, we went to an office today. It was, what was the?
Boostability?
The Boostability. We went to the Boostability office and we actually got to speak on their webinar that they're going to be sending out to all their clients. And we just talked about personal relationships and how that fits in with SEO. So it's kind of cool to see because I'm an expert, or I'm learning to be an expert in the personal relationship business, the PR game, and strategic partnerships. And Dennis has been doing that for a long time, as well as SEO is kind of the name of his game. And so it was cool that we were kind of going back and forth and able to both add some real world experience and stories and things that we've learned from and how they fit together. So that was a really cool thing to see.
So Mike Jensen is the guy who runs marketing for Boostability. They're a big company. They do a lot of SEO. They help agencies with their white label SEO as well. And do you remember what he said in the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
He said, I've known Dennis for like 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Dennis is this, and that, said all these amazing things. And today we're going to learn about SEO from Dennis and how to do it the right way. How much money would you have to pay to have someone like Mike, who's a figurehead, especially in Utah in the world of digital marketing, to be able to endorse you in front of his whole audience and then send that out and put it on their social medias, make a blog post about it, email everyone, hey, Jack Wendt is an expert in social or building relationships. I mean, how much money would you have to pay
a lot
for an
money.
endorsement like that? You couldn't even pay for it, right? And even if you could pay for it, it wouldn't come off genuine, because Mike and I can talk about experiences that we've had. Like I think he mentioned Tokyo or San Diego or other places that we've been together at. And the funny thing is that I wasn't the one who asked for the webinar. I think I made a post saying like, oh, I'm going to be in Utah hanging out with Jack. And he said, really? Well, we should get together. I'm like, okay, cool. What about Friday afternoon? And then he said, yeah, well then if we're going to be together in the office, might as well do a webinar together.
For sure.
When you have reputation and personal brand, other people do your marketing for you. And that's what I think a lot of people miss, because they're out there cold calling. They're out there like trying to convince other people to buy from them. But when you already have that kind of trust, all these other things open up.
It's huge.
So you spent about an hour talking about local SEO, talking about how agencies are struggling doing it, talking about what's working, what isn't working with all the updates with AI. And the cool thing is that they have a huge network of local businesses that they do SEO for on behalf of their agencies. They have a lot of agencies they power it, so the agencies white label the SEO. And after that webinar, we then went and had some street tacos. And he brought other team members because he runs marketing. And then what did we talk about?
They asked us what would be some good events for them to be able to connect with people. What would be the most leverageable events for them to be able to connect with people in their space, so then they could sell better and they could be more connected within their industry.
So then they said, what conferences should we be at? What should we be thinking? And I said, well, I think Vendasta is awesome because they have a huge platform for white label digital marketing resellers. Traffic and Conversion Summit, which is run by Digital Marketer. I'm there all the time. I can introduce the other people. And I listed a few of these other places, like marketing automation companies they could partner with. And the cool thing is that because I know the founders of these other companies, I can very easily make that intro. And it wasn't just me being able to make the intro. It was the fact that I know Boostability can do good work, and I know it actually would be a mutually beneficial thing for them and for me too.
And that's huge because, and that's one thing when you're recommending and connecting people. One thing also is you want to make sure that you have, obviously Dennis goes way back with Mike, and he knows who he is as a person, and he knows who the company that he represents is. But when you're making these recommendations, you want to be really careful and be able to vet and know for certain that the people that you're referring can actually uphold in the back end, because it's not just their reputation on the line, but yours with the company that you're referring to. So that's something to be careful with, but it also is a huge leverageable skill to be able to broker those relationships, as me and Dennis have spoken about.
And there's way more value in doing that brokering than being a worker. So I've built tons of websites over the last 35 years. As like, actually getting the experience doing this, getting sites to rank, creating content, running ads. Like I've got a ton of experience, and then starting and running agencies and coaching these other agencies. But because I've done that, now I can make recommendations that actually are credible, that actually work, that people pay for based on the value, not of like an hour of Dennis's time, but based on the impact from those introductions. So think about like, how much is one good introduction worth? that can make them several $1 million because
Yeah.
now they can resell to this other group.
Yeah.
And then I might get a little piece of it. So some people might say, oh, well, Dennis, ever since he became famous, now makes money off of affiliate marketing. And affiliate marketing usually is you get paid to sell someone else's thing. So you get a commission basically, like you're like affiliate marketing is like a salesperson kind of thing. But I say that's not it at all, because I'm not out there pushing someone's product. I'm not like the sham wow guy saying, oh, we should buy this thing, this sponge, it absorbs all the water. I'm not like
You're not like the influencer that's like, use my code for 15% off.
Buy this product now for 20% off. Like, I don't do that. What I'm doing is I'm brokering the relationships. Sometimes I am the figurehead. Like the thing we're doing with Get Response, where we're reteaching our $1 a day course using their course platform. The fact that the course is working is proof that their platform is easy to use for influencers that want to sell a course. And then, of course, put $1 a day behind it and all that to prove that we can drive sales of our course and make money.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to what you're saying, Jack, I'm putting my reputation on the line very carefully because I'm not just saying, oh, whoever wants to pay me money, I'll just go ahead and shill their stuff. Like, who is it? Like Shaquille O'Neal has like Kia, or like, what is he like?
Well, he's in the, what's the baby? The bond, gold bond he's in?
Yeah.
He's in like a bunch of random stuff.
He's just selling his name for whatever, right? But it's actually with something that is relevant to me. And I actually know these people. I know how they operate. So I feel good about that. Because the last thing I want is someone to say, hey, Dennis, I hired that person or I bought that software because you said so. Then I feel guilty about that.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So it's still like an extension of a referral where if a friend were to text you saying, hey, do you have a digital marketing person that you'd recommend? Oh, I recommend Noah, right? Then that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So you guys think about where you can add more value by bringing people together, whether or not you get a cut of it.
Absolutely.
I've made so many connections for other people and I've not gotten anything back immediately.
One mistake that I fortunately have been able to learn from other people's mistakes is to not be so transactional when you're doing business, especially in relationship game. You never want to be the robot, like you never want to be the ATM or something like that. It's all about relationships. It's all about being authentic. And you never want to be like, hey, if you give me this, I'll give you this. It's never about that. It's just like, hey, let's form connections, let's be friends, and then let's see if we can collaborate and build something from it. So that's the goal. Yeah. But our flight's actually
we gotta go
now.
And so that's the power of relationships. Like all it takes is one moment. It's not how many hours you put in, but literally just a couple moments a week. You make the right deals, the right decisions. Even Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, says he only makes 1 or 2 decisions per day.
Wow.
So think about how you value your time. And the rest of the time we're at the trampoline park, we're eating food, we're doing all this other stuff. It looks like we're lazy, but when it counted, that's when we got stuff done. So I want you guys to think about who are those most important people in the network? Where can you make connections to bring different people together, whether or not you get value? And then let us know in the comments, how is this changing your thinking so that you can become more of a deal maker and a connector than a worker, which is a totally different way of thinking about things.
Yeah, it'd be cool like to get to a point where you can be paid for your decisions, not just paid for your time.